Well, politics of the reducible minimums, what we're discussing this morning alongside Honorable Makali Mulu, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, and Honorable Kasim Sawa Tandaza. And I hope we still have Honorable Kasim. Do we have him? Meanwhile, as we try and get, all right, well, let me first pick some feedback from the people who are watching this morning. Chegewa Masharia says, why do we people talk of corruption instead of pinpointing people who are corrupt and present evidence to EACC for prosecution? Well, empty talk without substance ends up being politics. We lose war on corruption because it is politicized. Samuel says, market economy is what Kenya needs. Hustling, working hard will put money in its pocket. Dominic Kamai says, thank you, Linda, for the show. Thank you so much also for appreciating us. And there's still so much feedback that is coming our way, this in regards to the conversation that we're having this morning. On that very note of a possible Uhuruto presidency again, because I'm told from 2013 to around 2017, it was Uhuruto. From 2018 to date, or to maybe 2022, is Uhuraila. I don't know, Honorable Kasim, what would be your expectations, having seen that the DP has warmed up to what it is that the clergies suggest, and also now NCIC taking it up? Dialogue is good. You know, a handshake would be extremely good, especially at this point, you know, when the nation is a bit volatile and there's so much intolerance that is being witnessed or breeding. The question then would be, is there remorse from both parties, both sides, that will then guarantee us, you know, a smooth flow when we're having this dialogue towards peace?
Linda, this is a very interesting one, because for the deputy president campaign strategy, it is obvious that it is good when he campaigns from outside the way he is doing now. Because as you can see, he is trying to come up with some those models, saying that he cannot implement them because he's outside. He's trying to pinpoint where Honorable Gachagua has been very clear on where this 4 years, this current session, they have failed because the deputy president is out. So, and for that matter, I don't think even Honorable Gachagua, if he is to advise the deputy president, he will tell him, go back, you know, for the campaign strategies that they have. It will be the disadvantage. So for that matter, I cannot see it happen. Not that it is bad, not that it can't happen, but for the campaign when 2022, certainly the deputy president, it is at an advantaged position, campaigning from that angle. And I'm saying now, for those who want to go in, could it be the right Honorable Raila Odinga? If for any reason the One Kenya Alliance would want to go in, to me that is a poor strategy to campaign towards 2022, because you are saying you want to be associated with a system which has failed. The voter will say, we're already suffering this much, and you are saying we are not suffering, because by joining that side, it means you are saying things are good. So how are you going to convince people to actually vote for you? So it is upon them, the deputy president, the president, they know exactly up to from where I sit, unless the Honorable Gachagua knows what I don't know. I think it is the two of them, initially who came together, initially who formed the government, and up to where they have reached, they know exactly what took them there. But going towards 2022, my position is let the sitting president complete his term the best way he can. Let those who want to come in tell Kenyans what they are going to do for them. The deputy president, if it's the former vice president, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, the former again vice president, deputy prime minister, my party leader, Musalia Mudavadi, what they should be doing, all the presidential candidates should be telling Kenyans what they are going to do for them. And as I've said, from the One Kenya Alliance perspective, I think Makali has put it very clearly. We are telling people where it hurts most. One, we need to handle corruption. Two, the issue of debt, because that is where we are going to free money, to get money to do any other thing that we would want to do. This is not rocket science. It is as simple as that. And for as long as we know somebody who is going for the president is not going to handle those two major issues, which are currently hurting the economy, then what remains is political hurt air. But from where we sit now, I believe if there are programs that were to be done by the current government, their main handicap would be there is no money to do it. It is not about the politicking that is went through, because how would you do it? They will do it through the normal processes. They have their programs, bring it to parliament during the budget, we allocate resources if they're there, they go out there and it's executed. Execution in the executive is done through, of course, the CSS and the permanent secretaries and the technocrats who are there. They have not been sacked. They are basically there. All the government departments have people who are working there. The issue of demoralized civil service, I think, is them who brought it. Because how do you have a civil servant who is a billionaire and he is earning probably 100, 200,000 per month? Definitely this person is at risk. Now, if you are to tell me that these people should not be arrested, of course, I'm not saying arresting them has brought any reprieve, because there is arresting, prosecution, and the case in point, Linda, last week, when we found that somebody has been taken to court, prosecuted, agreed that there's 50 million lost, 55 million lost, and he is fined 3.4 million. You can see how we are handling corruption matters. And these are the civil servants Honorable Gachagua is talking about, that they should not be prosecuted, or they should be given a warning that in 2 months' time we'll come and arrest you. I think that is getting the whole thing wrong. But to me, where we are, Linda, we need serious discourse. We need everybody in this government. Trying to sideline anybody in the government will not help. There is nothing wrong if Right Honorable Raila Odinga has some ideas to take this government forward. There is nothing wrong if Kalonzo, if my party leader Musalia has some ideas to take this government forward. And that's what they've been doing. They've been telling them, please, let's handle debt, let's handle corruption. So we need this government for everybody. Otherwise, saying that I cannot work because somebody has come in to help. You know, when you give ideas, you take them. If you don't want to take them, you will continue. I think these are excuses. But realistically, we need to handle, to me, and I think that's what Kenya Alliance stands for. And we've been very clear on that, on those two issues. We are not short of ideas. And with the next government, and I pray that one Kenya Alliance takes this government, then I think we have the means and the way to take this country forward.
Well, Honorable Makali Mulu, how crucial would it be for these two gentlemen to probably have a sitting for the sake of peace, looking at the intolerance that is breeding already?
You know, Linda, the issue of the peace, I think that the reason why the church is coming is informed by our history. You know, in the past, these political issues have really caused problems to this country. And I think that's what the church is trying to avoid. And that's why you see they are saying, as things are now, the only potential threat to our peace would be this relationship between the DP and the president. Because as you said earlier, the other side, One Kenya Alliance, seems to be already working well with the president in terms of national issues, in terms of peace. So One Kenya Alliance is not a threat to peace of this country. The only area where we have a threat is now the DP. But to me, the way I look at it is the church, that's a good move from the church. It is not happening for the first time. They have been doing it in the past. But to me, I think the reason why you hear the DP saying he is willing to, unconditionally, is just a political move. It's a strategy. It's a political strategy. He has realized the president, the other side, is actually likely to lose the Central Kenya vote.
Okay.
Not the 100% they got the other time. It's like a chunk of it is likely to disappear. And you know, automatically, if you sit on your table and you do the mathematics, if he loses about 30 to 40% of that, the deal is done. He can't be the president. Because that's where you know, that's like the basket is looking up to. So to me, I think it is a very serious political strategy for him to say, I'm willing. Let the church come in and talk unconditionally. Because he knows if that happens and things are okay, then with him, with my friend here, they will just be walking to State House.
You think so?
Basically, because if he maintains the status quo the way things are now, that he gets 90% or so they got last election, the numbers are in favor. But not now with the interference with Central Kenya, the numbers are not working very well.
Rigathi is from the mountain, and the mountain says that the president has told them not to go. At least there are people who said that the president can only tell them where not, like don't go this way, but he will not tell them where to go. Yeah,
what we are saying is the president might not be able now to dictate the way he did the last elections, but the president has also a following. You can't actually rule him out. You can't say he has no constituents which can tell what this way and they do. He might not be 100%. But so the analysis is, if he manages that 30% to somebody else, the deal is done. And I think that's why now they are guarding that. If we could come to their side, then they would be, other than climbing the hill, they will be going downhill. But you know, to me, I think that's why you see there is this, everybody is saying it's a good move. But we know what is behind. It's a strategy, it's a political strategy.
Sarcastically laughing.
I wish them well for me, because I really don't think that the difference where they are today, they might have to do a lot of work to reconcile them. Because you know what the president has been saying is simple, that I'm here with a very clear policy, and as Rigathi says, Honorable Rigathi says, the president has a legacy to leave behind. This is somebody who is messing your legacy in terms of, you go out there and people will start saying, like what Rigathi was saying, I'm very disappointed with the performance of the president. The president doesn't want to hear that statement. He wants, as he goes out of Kenya, to say, we are as happy as we were with Honorable Mike Kibaki when he left. And now somebody comes midway to make that statement.
It becomes a problem.
You will have a problem with that person, I can tell you. You will still behave the same way.
Regarding reaction to that, and also on this one, NCIC has said it is developing a political decency charter document that will bind politicians to adhere to political tolerance as they campaign in the different parts of the country. The events that have happened in the recent past politically, your boss himself going to a different direction somewhere in Central, not so much rosy, some bit of animosity mated upon him. We have seen the likes of Jimmy Wanjigi trying to traverse the different parts of Nyanza, equally animosity over the weekend. And it appears that politicians are the ones who are, triggering this. What do you make of this, and what are the likelihoods then that we will not go to 2022 general election with such possible threats of intolerance?
Thank you, Leader. To start with, we will be happy if the Deputy President and his boss can reconcile. As I've told you, we have no problem. Our father took in a second wife, and we accepted. And the second wife came and convinced him to be harsh to his children. We accepted and moved on. We have never hated him because of that. He's our father. If he wants to come back home to his wife and children, we are more than willing. But if he doesn't want to come, we have moved on. You understand? We have moved on and accepted. You know, in relationships, you become realistic. If he is gone and gone completely, so be it. We move on because we have lives of our own. Number two, Macau. The people of Central Kenya are not the people of other areas. These are hardened freedom fighters. They are people who are fiercely independent, and they are people who don't like being talked down at. Why they like Mwai Kibaki? And I want to repeat again, with a lot of nostalgia, he gave us freedoms to do what we want. When his time came to retire, he never told us where to go. He packed his bags, left us a vibrant economy, and slowly went back home. His respect is intact because of that. He never, despite having performed so well, he could have told people move in this direction, and out of respect, probably people would have done it. But he looked at his people and he understands them well, and he knew they don't like being given direction. We are telling President Uhuru Kenyatta, my brother Uhuru, you asked us for 10 years, we gave you. You have such a nice retirement package. Your life is sorted for the rest of your life. It is in the constitution. Your salary, guards, secretaries, hospital, travel, please be satisfied with what you asked us to give you, and we give you. Don't tell us where we shall go. And if you tell us where we shall go, you will be embarrassed. And President Kenyatta, more than anybody else, knows. In 2002, President Moi tried to package him. and pushing down the throats of Kenyans. They said, no, we have our own minds. Now, 20 years later, people are even more informed. So the issue that the president can interfere with the vote for the mountain for Dr. William Ruto is zero. I can tell you, I've heard Waigoro, the governor Kirinyaga, saying she's listening to the ground. Welcome to listen to the ground, as we have been listening to the ground every day for the last 4 years.
And what do you think the ground says?
Is saying is UDA,
you think
William Ruto, and anybody saying they are listening to the ground, they are headed to UDA, because that's the ground. And it is upon her. We are in agreement with him. All politics is local. You know, we are going to elections. You know, people have been all over now following this. This is the year of reckoning. It's the year of listening to the ground and making very hard and informed decisions. So we are saying, we in the mountain have decided, many of us, a few have different views, and they are right. Many of us, from where I sit, and I'm not a stupid person leader, don't think I can commit a political suicide. If I know Ruto is not wanted, you will not see me with him. Because at the end of it, let me tell you, at the end of it all, politics is local.
Okay.
You listen to your bosses, the people who elect you. If the people of Mathira today told me to move to Raila Odinga, you'll find me at Capitol Hill. But the direction will have to come to those guys. That is why these people from Mukambani are telling Kalonzo, please don't dare go to Raila, because that's what the ground is saying. It's not them.
Is it so?
It's the ground. You listen to the ground. The ground is very important.
This opinion.
The ground is
the politics of the ground.
The ground is very, very important. So what I'm saying is that as we are focused and we respect the president and we would want him to leave a good legacy. And one of the ways to mess his legacy is to get involved in this 22 succession. It can undo all the good things he has done. Let him finish the remaining roads. Let him give people water, connect them with electricity, and let us create peace. And that commission that is saying they are going to address these problems, they are being dishonest. The deputy president was in Narumoro. The local member of parliament organized thugs to stone him. The police were just there doing nothing. I have not heard them condemn that incident. They are condemning the one of Wanjigi in Migori, but they are not condemning the one where a sitting deputy president of the Republic of Kenya was stoned by thugs, organized by a Kiloweke member of parliament, and police were there doing nothing. You know, let them be honest. Let us try to be fair and apply the law not selectively, across uniformly. I have seen these COVID rules being used selectively. They were stopping us from having a church function with the deputy president. But I've seen Kibicho, the PS in charge of internal security. He's doing huge meetings in Kirinyaga, 4,000-5,000 people.
What is so hard about just following the rules without having to look at
I'm saying if we are applying the law, let it be uniform.
Okay.
But you cannot have two sets of laws in this country. There is one for Deputy William Ruto and his allies. There is another one for the rest of the brigade. You know, and we are saying, I have seen meetings, big meetings being done by Karaja Kibicho in Kirinyaga, called peace meetings, which is okay. You know, I didn't know there is war in Kirinyaga. I'm not aware that there was war, but so be it. But we are saying, let us not see him now sending policemen to disrupt our meetings.
Don't you think you have been a little bit too defiant?
Defiant in terms of what?
In terms of the laws that have been set and generally going against that. Maybe that's the reason why.
We are saying these laws cannot be applied selectively.
Okay.
What is good for Raila Odinga is good for William Ruto.
Okay.
What is good for Karaja Kibicho is good for Rigathi Gachagua. He cannot send policemen to disrupt my meetings, yet himself he is having meetings for 5,000 people. I mean, where is equity? And I'm saying Kenyans are also very informed. People can see this selective application of the law. And people are saying that we don't condemn corruption. We condemn corruption. What we don't agree with is the politicization of the war on corruption. It is where it is being used to settle political scores. And that is why we are saying that one we don't support. Let the law be applied. And we have sufficient laws to deal with corruption. Let people be investigated, not through the press. Once you have sufficient evidence, take them to court, prosecute them, and get a conviction. All the people who have been arrested, how many have been convicted? Because mostly it is very short day investigations, that is political games, you know, and then when you go to court, you have no evidence. You cannot get a conviction without evidence. And you know, criminal law is very clear. It is beyond reasonable doubt. The threshold is very high. So let us fight corruption properly, not use it as a tool to settle political scores or to have political persecution.
And do you think such has been meted upon you?
Oh, that's, yeah. Most of us are victims. We were threatened that if you don't abandon William Ruto, we are going to work on you. We said you can go to hell.
Who did that?
Oh, many people. I don't want to mention names. Many people called me, oh, if you don't abandon William Ruto, we'll fix you. I said, you fix us. You know, this country, I am a son of a freedom fighter myself. We have seen many things. And even the British who are here threatening us today, they are not here. This government has another 10 months to go. So what is it?
And in the cases that lie on your head, you're sure that you're going to come out
scot-free? There's no problem. We have got a very good judicial system that is very fair. You know, and most of us believe in the rule of law. And we will be processed through the courts and will be vindicated in the fullness of time. What we cannot agree to is to be intimidated. The use of the criminal justice system to manage politics is an outdated way of managing politics. Politics is managed through persuasion, consultation, and consensus. You don't threaten people so that they toe you a line. You talk to them.
Fair enough. Honorable Kasim, as we are almost coming to a close, what is the Coast region doing? You know, you started so well in terms of flexing your muscles and saying that, you know, we have ways of presenting the views of the people of the coast on, you know, the table, what it is that the people on the ground are saying. But it appears like, you know, this fire is not blazing as much as we would have expected.
The coast region is, it's a region. It's a region with the different interests. It's a region which is multi-ethnic. You know, when you talk about the eastern region, you will basically be talking about Ukamba being a tribe. When you talk about the Mount Kenya region, you are basically also talking about a tribe, the Kikuyu tribe, of the others, Embu, Meru, but basically you're talking about the Kikuyu. But when you talk about the coast region, then that is where the problem begins, in terms of us coming up together. And it's that we cannot really come up together, negotiate at the table. But we face a lot of interference from those who benefit by the disunity of the coastal region. Remember, when the other regions meet, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks that now they are going to secede or they are bringing some tribal politics. I think I cannot count the number of times the Mount Kenya region has met and said, we want to chart our own cause. But the moment coastal leaders meet, then that's where the problem is, because those from outside definitely benefit from unity. But with the 10 months to the general election, Linda, as a leader from coast, I cannot despair. I cannot despair. I'm still hopeful that we are on course to coming up with a joint united front from the coast. I've always said it is not about a political party from the coast. We've had them. When the Mount Kenya people talk the way Gachagua is talking, he is not talking about one political party from the Mount Kenya region. There are several political parties. Remember, of late, we've been having the Moses Kuria and the Kiujuri, whatever. They are from Mount Kenya, and they are still together when it comes to matters that matter for that region. So for us, we have not despaired. I think we are still on course. It's not going to be easy. The people from outside, because they benefit from the coastal votes when it is united, we know that they are not going to, it's not to the interest for that to happen, but we are still confident that within the remaining 2 months. And remember, when it comes to the general election and the winning formula, it has never been formed this early. I'm still yet to see more alliances and more coalitions going towards August 2022. It could be as late as 3 months, 4 months to August, but it will happen. And as that happens, I'm sure the coastal region will also be able to package itself, negotiate with the coalition that will be taking their interests with the priority that it deserves.
All right.
Otherwise, for the issue about the NCIC, to me, it is a waste of time. We have enough laws. It is only the government agencies that they are not working. I agree with Gachagua on this matter. Let the law be applied uniformly. It should not be applied selectively, because the moment you apply the law selectively, actually that is a precursor for chaos for this country, and we don't want to go back to chaos in this country.
Well, thank you so much. Now that you mentioned the likes of Kuria, the return of the Iron Lady, Martha Karua, I'd love to hear Rigathi Gachagua's view on that, but not before we close on this subject as you proceed to Parliament today. Fuel. The BBI conversation, that one I know we can't raise because, well, Daragwa Member of Parliament has indeed put up a fight on the same. I don't know how then it gets to see the light of day. But fuel prices, maybe in a minute.
You know, Linda, I think the issue of fuel pricing is a very complicated matter. And we all agree that the increase was really a big blow to Kenyans, and more so the low-income Kenyans. We've been blamed as members of parliament that we did pass the law where we agreed on the proposed VAT. We've said many times that, you know, taxation, Linda, is what we call a good evil. Because people must be taxed to develop the country. And it's a matter of balancing that even as you tax, then you don't harm the people you're taxing to a level that they can't give you any more money. I think what has happened is that now, you know, what determines the price of fuel in this country, in addition to the levies which are already put there by the government, there is the issue of the cost of oil from whatever it comes from, the so-called the barrel cost. And I think that's what has been destabilizing the cost. At times it's low, so you find the prices are low, at times it increases. So that's the only changing variable. And I think what we do now that things are getting out of hand, I think as Parliament, we really have, as members of Parliament, we have no choice except taking this matter head on and seeing how we can cushion Kenyans against the adverse effects of this increase in fuel. And I've said many times, the challenge with the fuel increases is the spiral effect. You, unlike other commodities where you apply more tax and it doesn't trickle down to this one affects all sectors. Once you touch fuel cost, it affects every sector, and at the end of the day, this additional cost will still find its way to the cost of products, and then the common man will really be hurting. So I think really when we go back to Parliament, now that this is now with us, we can't say we passed the law and we have to wait again till the end of we have to think of a way of cautioning Kenyans. So I'll be part of that group which will be saying, let's look at the whole scenario again and see how we can improve the situation so that Kenyans don't continue hurting. Thank you. Yeah.
Short-term improvements, probably good to caution, you know, and I mean, we've been cautioned long enough. And then before we knew it, of course, the prices have shot up and we are speaking what we're speaking today. So what is likely to culminate from the level of Parliament that will not just cushion us, you know, short-term wise, but generally address this matter in totality?
I look forward to Parliament this afternoon. When this matter came up, leader, we were called to State House when they wanted to introduce VAT on fuel products, and some of us were opposed to it. And of course, we were bashed that we are being disrespectful to the president, and we were against it. Quite a number of us, you know, the people whom they refer to us as Tanga. And the president reached out to his handshake partner, and Raila whipped his troops, and they came in Parliament and passed. I'm happy. Now they are talking a different tune. You know, I've seen Simbarati saying, reading to the speaker, we review it. We are very happy. We will be there this afternoon so that the handshakers can join us to deal with this matter, because that is where we were wanted from the beginning. And we were being accused of being disrespectful to the president. Taxation must be done, but let us not tax products that have far-reaching effects on the entire economy, because we can cripple the entire economy. You see, if you kill, it's called killing the goose that lay the golden egg. If you make sure people are not functioning, where will the other taxes come from? So we will be very happy this afternoon. And if the hardshakers have seen the light, they have listened to the cries of the people of Kenya and want to join the rest of us who are opposed. Let
me play the devil's advocate for a moment. If going down memory lane, and even in Parliament, we're listening to the session at that particular time. And, you know, we still do not understand how the eyes had it. till date. And therefore, I'd want to assume that even the handshakers, in a way, were nayers at that particular point.
This handshake thing is what makes Parliament and its functions. You know, this Parliament would have been there for the people of Kenya. But when the handshake came, they are able to put troops together and almost pass anything. But I'm happy now that the handshakers seem to have changed their mind. Of course, they had to. The realities of elections now, 10 months away, you must listen to the people. They cannot listen to the handshake. So
then again, we're not going to get something genuine. It will be all politically instigated.
They cannot now listen to the handshake principles. They must listen to what Wananchi are saying. You talked about Mother. We appreciate. We understand she has been made a spokesman of a certain function within Mount Kenya region to fight for the rights of the Mount Kenya people.
Yes.
We welcome that. Martha Karua is a very principled leader from the mountain region, and very respected so, and we are happy. If she wants to engage our presidential candidate, William Ruto, on issues that she thinks can help the mountain, she's more than welcome. Already we have discussed so many other issues of economic revival with the deputy president. If she has more ideas that can be helpful to the cause of the people of the mountain, we are more than willing, you know. In fact, the deputy president is available to her today, tomorrow, the day after. You know, if she has more ideas on top of what already we have discussed with him, we are more than happy.
What of the people,
we don't close those two
What
ideas.
of the general country as we close? We're closing.
Yeah.
I mean, the interest, I know politics is local and you speak for the people of the mountain, but the rest of the country would also wish to hear you speak on behalf of them.
Me, I am very keen myself. And I have said, I'm not interested in a position in this government or the coming one to lead poor people, to lead people who are crying all the time. I would want to lead people who have dignity. You know, he can tell you how demeaning it is to issue bursary. Bursary is not a good thing. It's a necessity because people cannot pay school fees. But ideally, people would like to pay school fees themselves for their children.
That's true.
You know, I would want a situation where we get a new leader and a new government that will bring an economic revolution to restore the dignity of the Kenyan people.
Okay.
So that people have money in the pocket, people can be able to pay school fees, they can be able to pay their hospital bills, they can be able to put food on the table, and they can be able to afford some little luxury. You know, that to me is a new Kenya, and is a Kenya that I want to be part of, you know.
Right.
And if that happens, you know, I'll be a very, very happy person.
Fair enough. Thank you so much. Honorable Kassim, as we come to a close, our expectations, the Speaker speaks of, you know, trying to challenge the members of Parliament to present this matter of fuel in Parliament, you know, as a priority. But if we are to remember then what happened when he said the ayes had it, when it was clear that really it wasn't the case. Is it a speaker we can trust? Is it a parliament we can trust to address this? And especially knowing that there's the interest of politics and we're headed to 2022 as it now.
Well, I was very happy if the Speaker this time handled that matter differently. And I think Honorable Gachagua should be honest on what happened on that day. He is totally misrepresenting the fact that handshakers were on one side supporting and Gachagua and a few on the other side were the ones who were saying this will happen. It was unanimous. If Honorable Gachagua was on the House on that day, typically all parliamentarians reject VAT component on that bill. And it is on record. You can play the clip 1,000 times. The nays were louder. They were to carry the day by the executive through the speaker. And unfortunately, it is the same speaker. The ayes have it. So if the speaker has also seen the light that surely it was wrong to actually put VAT on fuel products, then be it, because that is okay. And to me, that is the best thing that can happen. And I'm sure if it comes to the House, nobody will vote for that component, because initially the House had rejected that component in the first place. It was the executive. And the executive, you cannot blame the executive with only one person. It is the presidency, because those were the budget comes from the executive, and the executive is the presidency. But for this particular thing, the economy is going into its knees. It is already there. Probably now it's going into its belly. we cannot afford to tax the common mwananchi anymore because he has nothing to be taxed upon. And again, this runs into the face of reviving this economy, because it is clear you are not going to revive this economy by having astronomical fuel costs, because the fuel is the engine of manufacturing. The moment you raise it, you cannot actually manufacture, you cannot sell at the international market leader.
Right, thank you so much. I think on that very note, gentlemen, we close it. Once again, thank you so much for creating time to be with us this morning. Honorable Kassim Sawa Tandaza, Member of Parliament Matuga, Honorable Makali Mulu, Member of Parliament Kitui Central, and Member of Parliament Mathira, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. It was an honor having you. We look forward to have more conversation pertaining the interest of the common mwananchi. Thank you for your feedback. We cross over to a different conversation on the high cost of living, the aspect of economy after this break, certainly with a different panel.